On a server recently, and people have been laughing at the FPS I get because I only get about 100, but that's because I limit it. Now unlimited, I've been letting this warm up. It's about 300 FPS at the moment, but if you look at our CPU usage, we're looking at 84% roughly CPU usage on all 4 cores. I've currently taken my overclock off just to demonstrate this, but you see 48 degrees is the highest temperature we can see there, 85% on that core, 86%. Now if you look over here, we're using 215 watts of power. That's just wasted frames. Obviously the screen can't actually display that many and the human eye can't see that many. So if we just play we're back to the main menu now, and you can see the temperatures and the CPU usage is still rather high. Now there's a command called FPS_max. If we drop this to 101, you'll be able to see my CPU usage has dropped ever so slightly, 70%. Temperatures dropped about 2 degrees. My power over here is now 191 watts, sorry, 192 watts. If I go back on to the level I was on, this is with limited FPS. Just waiting for it to load now, I'm in window mode now. Now I'm back on the counter-terrorist team on Counter-Strike, and my FPS is just sat at 100 because obviously it's limited. You can see that the CPU usage is slightly reduced, it's 51%, obviously it is in window mode, so just for an example, but my temperatures have dropped about 2 degrees, and the CPU usage is 52 degrees, and the power usage is 188, 187, 189 watts. So obviously you're reducing the power, and if you look at this graph here, you'll be able to see the massive drop in CPU usage. So not only are you keeping your components cooler, you're saving on electricity, and you're not wasting your frames. I'm going to do it now without the screen recording software, so it's just the camera on, no software running in the background. I put max_FPS to 0, and as you can see we're nearly at 250 watts of power usage. So if I go ahead and load the map up, go onto the counter-terrorist team, I'm getting about 400 FPS, 450 FPS here, and you can see 220 watts of power usage. If I come out of this, if I then set my FPS to 101 and go back on the map, join counter-terrorist team, you can see that my FPS is fine, it's playable, it's usable, and I'm only using 171 watts of power, which is going to save you heat in your case and generally your electric bill, or your parents' electric bill if your parents pay it. Now just to show you the extreme change, with unrestricted, we're on 220 watts of power. If we come away and we limit our FPS to 30, and then we go back on the map, back onto the counter-terrorist team, we can see there we're only using 153 to 156 watts of power, so that's a massive drop that your computer's consuming in power. Obviously a lot of people are not going to find 30 FPS playable. It is playable, but it's a bit jerky and not nice to